What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me get some light on here. So I believe we're live in the Facebook group. Well, almost. As soon as Facebook catches up. All right, I can see myself. Let me check the audio. Let me get some light. Boom. Got the audio. All right. We are live into the group. Welcome to the Creative Crypto Show. Today is July 3rd. We're going to talk some crypto today. Just as every day, what we're covering on the show, a couple of things I got for you. Number one, we're talking about the number of sealed indictments in the world. We're talking a little bit of world news here, reaching 40,000 sealed indictments. What does that mean for the world of crypto? What's happening? Why are prolific mob bosses getting arrested or killed in masses? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the forthcoming economic collapse of 2018, the fall of Deutsche Bank and others. So we got a good show. We're also going to take a look at the market. Obviously, this might be a shorter show than normal. However, it's going to be packed full of information. So thanks for watching. If you're watching this in the Creative Crypto group, the Facebook group, and you would like to actually join the live stream here on the Zoom, you can do that. Just click the link right above and you can hop on the call. If you're watching this from YouTube and not in the group, then the first step is you need to come and join the group. So to do that, you can go to creativecrypto.group. That'll take you right to our Facebook group, or the link is down in the description. Just use the code word that I put down there. And you can join us in the group, see all of the additional stuff that we put in there. So let's get into it today. We got some fun stuff to talk about, some not so fun stuff to talk about, and we're going to start with some good news. So my good news for the day is I have my daughter this afternoon and evening. We're going on. We've got a cool date night planned. She's 4 years old. Jumping on some trampolines, going to the park, going out to dinner. She's going to help me. I got to clean house and pack because tomorrow I'm actually leaving to go to Michigan for somewhat of an unplugged vacation / planning session. So there won't be a lot of internet availability where I'm actually going. And so no live streams for the next week. All right. That is your official notice. There will be no Creative Crypto Show live streams for the next week. That does not mean that I won't be posting news, updates, and information in the Creative Crypto group. I will absolutely be doing that because I'll still have access to some internet, just not enough to do sustainable live streams. So no live streams until the next one will be Tuesday of next week. So exactly 1 week from today when you can join us, and I'll keep you updated in the group as well. But I just wanted to make that clear. There will be no live streams for the next week. So if you show up, I won't be here. All right, so that's my good news. Let me go ahead and actually share my screen and we will get into the show for the day. Hey, Jessica, thanks for popping on. Where's my screen to share? That stops the live stream. I don't want to do that. Boom, there we go. All right, so you guys should be able, okay, now I can see my screen. So let's actually start by going to coinmarketcap.com. We're going to take a look at what is going on in the market. I'm going to refresh my notes, make sure I get the newest version of the show. By the way, quick disclaimer, anything that I say in the show is not investment advice. It's not financial advice. It's not business advice. Not advice of any kind, strictly my opinion. That's all I'm giving you here is just my opinion about things. So don't get it twisted. I'm not giving advice if you go out and invest in something without doing your own due diligence and lose money. Don't blame me because I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to do your own research, do your own due diligence, invest smartly, wisely. Don't invest what you can't afford to lose, all that stuff. All right, so now that we got that clear, let's take a look at the market cap for the world of crypto. The market cap currently is 269 billion, which is down a couple billion from yesterday. We were at 271. So not much change there. The 24-hour volume is down also a little bit from 17.5 yesterday to 14.7 today. So a little bit of a dip there. Total number of cryptocurrencies on this website is 1,602. Yesterday we were at 1,597. So we gained a few there. Looks like about 5. And then last but not least, Bitcoin dominance is slightly down from 42.1% yesterday to 41.9% today. So Bitcoin dominance is still strong. The majority of the money in crypto is in Bitcoin. I say the majority, 41%. So the rest of it, at least the trading that's going through these exchanges. Now the market cap is not 100% accurate for the market of Bitcoin or the market of any of all of these coins, simply because the market cap is calculated based on the trading prices of the exchanges. And so the challenge is the exchanges are not the only way to buy cryptocurrency. You can buy cryptocurrency over the counter or peer-to-peer, and that price, how much you paid for it, does not get factored in to these valuations. So with that being said, take what you see here with that into consideration. Let's look at the change the last 24 hours. We just kind of do a brief scroll. You'll see it's a pretty even mix between green and red. Looks like several are in the green, several in the red. So let's just sort by green. And we look and see that the majority, it looks like well over half, not a lot more than half, but a little bit more than half of the coins are in the green. Looks like about a half a dozen or so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are in double-digit green. So Syscoin is up by 27%. Veritasium, one of my favorite coins, one of the transition coins. I'm the most bullish on Veritasium, almost out of any other coin that I hold. So it's good to see that is up by 23%. Wax is another one of my favorite coins, also up 22%. The gaming industry, the future of the gaming industry is going to be huge, and Wax is one that's participating in that. Veritasium, on the other hand, is the coin that when these things play out that I'm talking about on today's show and all the shows, you know, the financial collapse of the traditional banking systems and the move from fiat money into crypto, the Veritasium is going to be a transition coin. It's there, it's positioned to be there when the exchanges go down. And so that's what's going on in the world of crypto gains the last 24 hours. Just look at the biggest losers. Mixin is down double digits, 12.5%, but it's the only double-digit one that's down. So basic attention token, another one of my favorites, down 4% today. So that's what's going on in the world of crypto. If we just take a look at the prices here, Bitcoin's sitting at 6,500. Ethereum is at 468. Bitcoin Cash 768. Litecoin is at $86. I'm going to stop even referring to EOS. I used to quote EOS's price, but I no longer hold EOS. I haven't for months now. You guys can check some of my previous shows to know why. I believe that EOS is a major, major scam coin. I'll just flat out say it. I think that EOS is going to go down in the form of criminalities being removed that are involved with it. That's one of the articles that I posted in the group I'll touch on today. And people are like, we're bringing regulation to the criminals in the cryptos, and we need to. Right now, there are criminals in cryptos, unfortunately. And regulation is coming to those. And so EOS happens to be infiltrated by some of the most criminal of the criminals. And I believe that they will go down. I believe that they will be exposed in that regard. I don't think that the EOS platform or the EOS token or project will completely disappear. I just think that it will die in the realm of business owners aren't going to be comfortable putting their businesses on EOS because it's a controlled platform. It's a centralized platform. There are 21 block producers that basically own and control everything. And so if they don't like you, and they don't like you or your business, all it takes is, I think, 2/3 of them. So 7, 8, 9 of them get together, say 15 to make it better. 15 of them get together and decide, you know what, let's shut this business down. We don't like them. They can do that. That's not going to make business owners comfortable to run their businesses on the YOS platform. And so the next move is going to be to, more than likely, something like an Ethereum or something else that comes out. So I'm not a huge fan of EOS. You guys know, I've talked about it. So I'm just going to quit. I mean, this $8 billion market cap, this is ridiculous. Like, it's so overvalued. It's crazy. Far overvalued. Like, it should not be like, it shouldn't have an $8 billion market cap. It's ridiculous. Anyway, rant over about EOS. Let's get into other stuff. I want to take a look at the dollar and gold and silver. No thanks. Let's go to the charts. We're going to start by looking at BND. This is the Vanguard Total Bond Market. See what's going on here. We got $78.97. So that's roughly the same, down just a hair from yesterday. This is the representation of this is the Vanguard Total Bond Market, which is the U.S. debt. All right, the dollar, the U.S. dollar, which all that is debt anyway. And so this is, we look at this because it kind of gives us an idea, and we're watching this go down, because this is, the trajectory here is going down. Right now it's at 79-ish. Soon it will be a 0. Just letting you all know, we're early, and it's not going to be 0 tomorrow or the next day, but it will be 0 in the near future. It won't be long. So just be aware of that. What do you do to protect yourself? Well, if you got money attached to the system, get it out. Don't hold large amounts. Don't hold the majority of your wealth in banks in the form of cash. Don't hold the majority of your wealth in anything tied to the old system, the old banking systems, stock market included in that. So FYI on that, that's the reason we look at that. Next price that we're going to look at is gold, just to see what's going on there. Gold got a nice little pump over the evening. We're sitting at 1247, which is actually down from yesterday's numbers that we actually looked at. But there you can see here that there has been a little bit of a juice over the last day or so. So that's what's going on in gold. I do think that gold will be one of the first backup plans as the collapse of the old system starts getting closer and closer, and we near that time period. Gold's going to be one of the backup plans. It's going to be involved in the backup plan. Gold-backed dollar may be the first intermediate step. So I do believe that the price of gold will go up quite nicely in the next little bit, but I don't think that's long term. I also believe that there is tremendously larger amounts of gold in the world that is available than we are told and given the impression of. And so once that is all sorted out, I believe that gold will go up higher than it is right now, but it's not going to be the moonshot that a lot of us are thinking of long term. So that's just my opinion on this stuff. So we take a look at silver. Silver has silver also got a nice little pump last night, which is interesting. So silver is sitting at 1594. So basically the same as it was yesterday. But silver is a little bit of a different. It might take longer for silver to actually get unlocked. But here's the thing: when the banking system does die off, then when certain things die, the derivative, the push button, I can click a button and pour hundreds of billions of dollars worth of this stock or currency or metal in derivatives. Like when that part goes away, then that's the rigging, because that's where the rigging is done. All right, it's in the derivatives. It's in the electronic side of things. All right, it's not done by people buying large amounts of physical gold. It's all the push button derivative stuff. And when the biggest banks go down because of the derivatives, because that's what is killing the system, when that happens, my phone is blowing up over here. I got to turn it off, turn it over or something. It keeps distracting me. I'm seeing the little squirrel lights over here going off. Anyway, when the old system goes down, then gold will be the first backup plan. Silver will be when the rigging stops, silver will have better price discovery. And I do believe that we're going to see a massive, massive upshot in silver, and it could happen literally overnight. So plan for all of this. Get yourself some physical gold. Hold it in yourself. Don't hold it in exchanges or in vaults or in banks or anywhere like that. Hold it yourself. Get yourself some physical gold, physical silver. Get large amounts of cash out of the bank, out of the stock market. I posted some resources in the Creative Crypto groups on how to do that. We're still a little bit early, but don't find yourself stuck in the old system when it's too late. I'm going to play a clip here in just a moment, a 2-minute clip of kind of what we were on the brink of happening back in 2008, the last financial collapse. Most people completely missed it. You didn't hear a lot of people talking about this. You still don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but that's where we're going. I'm going to share what that is here in just a moment. But first, let's get into some world news really quick. I mentioned at the beginning of the call the number of sealed indictments that's going on in the world. We've got this whole good guys, bad guys thing going on in the world. These Trump and other leaders from around the world are working together to pull the bad guys out, to extract the bad guys from the system so that we can have this life of abundance. We can have things like free energy, free, there's so much abundance that's coming. It's crazy. I'll get into more of that a little bit later. We're going to see this kind of come to fruition, but the big part of it is the monetary side of it, right? The old system must collapse because the old system is ran by the bad guys. That's what you guys got to understand is the old system is ran by the bad guys, and we got to collapse the system. That is the plan. All right. That's been the plan for a long time. There are good guys working throughout all of the organizations as well. Even in the Federal Reserve, there are good guys in the Federal Reserve that want to destroy the system because they know that's the only way that we get a full reset. We get the reboot. And so the plan is to do that this year. And so that's what's going down. That's kind of what we're in the midst of. And as part of that, one thing that is happening on massive scale is arrests. The bad guys are getting arrested. And I'm talking about like the criminals, the ones they're involved in the financial manipulation and the financial rigging and control. Those same people, many of those same people are also just so happen to be involved in criminal stuff like pedophilia. And they're getting arrested in masses, all right, for that very thing. That has been the prime directive, the main thing that the Trump regime and organization has been going after since he's been in office. There are over 40,000 sealed indictments now of people that they are going after for this very thing. Massive arrests have already happened. Many thousands have already been arrested and or removed from power. If you just look at the number of leaders, senators, company, owners that are stepping down or resigning, this is their last year, it's happening by the thousands. These are all people, because they're giving them an option. They're saying, look, you get out of the system or you're going down. We'll arrest you. We'll put you in jail. In some of these cases, they're so high up, like they're not going to jail. They're going to military tribunals. And in some cases, they're just getting killed. Like they're not even giving them that chance, or they're fighting back and they're getting killed. So a lot of that stuff is going on. There's been over 50 congressmen and senators who have resigned. in the top ranks of people in the Justice Department, the State Department, the FBI, the CIA, they're being cleansed. The evil in those organizations is being extracted. The mob bosses that have been in there and infiltrated these organizations are being removed by the dozens. All right, it's happening quickly, and so that's all a good part of it. It's all part of the process of this removal of bad guys, and we're all working towards this world of abundance and freedom that we all want. Now, there's some major mobster type leaders that are being removed that you would recognize. Got people like David Rockefeller. Some of the Rothschilds are getting popped. George Soros, is people that say that these guys are dead, that they're not in, like, that they're literally dead. There's talk of Bill Gates even being dead at this point. I don't know if that's the case. That's just speculation. Regardless, they're being removed from the system. All right, that's a good thing. As we get further along in this process, the next couple of months, I think we're going to hear a little bit more vocal outcry of these things taking place, because we're going to start getting to the higher ups, the leaders like ex-presidents and people that we couldn't fathom are being involved in this shit. They're going to start. It's going to start coming out that they are massively involved in the stuff, and it's not going to be good. So just watch for that. There's lots of stuff that's coming. The mobsters are being removed. The next kind of wave of it are, the super bad guys. We're talking the Bushes, the Clintons, Obama, Netanyahu, who's the ruler of another country. So these are all things that are occurring behind the scenes. All right, and it's kind of an ugly fight. But all of that is working towards one thing, and that is peace and freedom, and that's coming. Now, in this process, since these bad guys are so immersed and in control of the monetary system, what that means is this is part of the process of destroying the old system, all right? And so as these guys come out, things get put in place that literally cause the old system to fail. And that's what we're seeing. And all of these things, as we continue to look at them, I mean, we're looking at the bond price every day. We're looking at the price of gold, silver, and crypto every day. You guys are going to start seeing the reflection of the stuff that's going on in the world. You're going to start seeing it directly impacted by here. And we're getting close. We're getting on the timeline. All right. So pay attention to that sort of thing. I want to show you a couple of things. So this is just one article that I just posted in the group. The US, UK lead 5-nation alliance to combat cryptocurrency tax crimes. This is good. I mean, this is saying that, listen to this. So announced on Tuesday, the 5-member joint chiefs of global tax enforcement between the Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission, the Australian Taxation Office, Canada Revenue Agency, the Fiscal. So these organizations, they're here to decriminalize the cryptos. That's what this partnership is. That's what this article is about. So you can check that out if you are interested. Next on the agenda, where was the other one that I wanted to share? So this one right here, Deutsche Bank fails the Fed stress test. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You can read this article. I would suggest that you read this article because this is a big domino. The Federal Reserve knows that these too big to banks like Deutsche Bank, they're too big to fail, right? That's the perception that the world has. And the Federal Reserve knows that. And they're giving them enough rope to hang themselves. They want the old banks to fail. Because now, unlike in 2008, we have ready-made solutions that we can transition into, being gold, silver, cryptos, things like that. Cryptos are to the point now where we can make that transition easy. So that's what's going on. You guys can believe it or see it or not. I'll continue to jump up and down about it all day, every day. That is absolutely what is going on. those of you that are aware of that and just take notice and prepare, you're going to come out on the upside. You're going to be setting nicely after this all plays out. Those of you that got into crypto and you're hurting right now, your cryptos are down 80-90%. Just hold on. They will come out on the other side better on the upside. So don't stress that. All right. Read this article. There's a lot of good stuff in this article. I talked about it. This other one, I want to just read some of it, and then I want to play a quick clip from something that happened back in 2008, because that's what I think we can expect if these things continue to play out the way that they are. And it's quite honestly, it's kind of scary whenever you look at it and really understand what's going on. So we're going to talk about that. I just want to read briefly. So this is 2008 Part 2, Global Financial System Rushing Headline Towards a Combined Debt and Liquidity Crisis. So let's read part of this. For all intents and purposes, the global financial system died in October 2008 following a liquidity crisis that was only stemmed through the interventions of governments and central banks. Okay? That's what put us in that mess. But in the aftermath of that crisis, these same entities would need to continuously fuel the system with ever-increasing amounts of debt and liquidity just to prop up the dead financial corpse. 10 years later, which is where we're at right now, the world once again appears to be standing at that same liquidity precipice, only this time it is much, much worse since it's been coupled with a global debt crisis that is exponentially spiraling out of control. That's coming to light very, very rapidly. And sadly, because central banks themselves are virtually insolvent by having so much debt on their own balance sheets, it is not only the banks that stand to lose when the whole scheme starts to collapse. Emerging market debt crises are as predictable as spring rain. They happen every 15 to 20 years with a few variations and exceptions. It's been 20 years since the last debt crisis and 10 years since the last global financial crisis. EM lending has been proceeding at a record pace. Once again, hot money from the US and Europe is chasing high yields. If we scroll down just a little bit, it kind of tells you what's actually going on. In just the past month, Argentina received the largest bailout from the IMF in their history. Venezuela's attempt at an oil-backed cryptocurrency appeared to have stalled, with the nation inflation rate now sitting at 8,100%. In addition, the Fed is attempting to slow down expansion by raising rates and lessening their balance sheets. And Russia has just announced that they're doing the same thing by raising taxes. All right. This isn't just happening in the US. This is happening all over the world. The world is preparing for this. And then there's China, whose debt just reached $30 trillion earlier this month. All of this means, of course, that the liquidity that helped spur on emerging market growth and rebuild the housing and equity bubbles around the world, that liquidity is suddenly being shut off. And it was that same halt in liquidity back in 2008 that brought down the entire financial system in little less than a week. All right. So on that note, I'm going to, and here's the last part of it. Central banks, bank heads admitted back in 2008, they never saw the financial crisis coming, but the contrary to the fact that as a whole, they're telling the public that everything is fine behind the scenes. They're preparing for not only the collapse of the current system, but the advent of a new one. And back in October 2008, it will come swiftly and nearly overnight. And if you aren't prepared now, you'll get the chance of when the system today suddenly no longer exists. All right. This can happen very, very, very quickly. I'm going to play this quick YouTube video. If I can find it, where'd it go? So I posted this in the group. Let's just play this. Take a look. So this is 2 minutes. I'm going to play this, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but the first part. Listen to this.
Why did we do that? We did that because the secretary, look, I was there when the secretary and the chairman of the Federal Reserve came those days and talked with members of Congress about what was going on. It was about September 15th. Here's the facts, and we don't even need to talk about these things. On Thursday at about 11 o'clock in the morning, the Federal Reserve noticed a tremendous drawdown of money market accounts in the United States to the tune of $550 billion was being drawn out in a matter of an hour or two. The Treasury opened up its window to help. They pumped $105 billion in the system and quickly realized that they could not stem the tide. We were having an electronic run on the banks. They decided to close the operation, close down the money accounts, and announce a guarantee of $250,000 per account so there wouldn't be further panic out there. And that's what actually happened. If they had not done that, their estimation was that by 2 o'clock that afternoon, $5.5 trillion would have been drawn out of the money market system of the United States, would have collapsed the entire economy of the United States, and within 24 hours, the world economy would have collapsed. Now, we talked at that time about what would happen if that happened. It would have been the end of our economic system and our political system as we know it. And that's why, when they made the point, we've got to act and do things quickly, we did. Now, Secretary Paulson said, let's buy out these subprime mortgages. That's what he came.
So I'm not going to play the whole thing. You get the idea. What, trillions of dollars, and they said by 11 it started, and they estimated by like 2 p.m. $5.5 trillion pulled out of the system. That electronic run on the bank is absolutely possible. And when people get word that banks are going down, that they're not, like when this stuff that I've been talking about for weeks gets into the minds of the masses, and they realize that Deutsche Bank has 0% chance of coming out of the situation that they're in, it's going to be a big problem. It's going to be a really big problem, and we're going to experience something very similar to what this guy just described. And so that is what I'm going to wrap up today's call with. All of the links are in the group if you want to check them out. That is fine. Let's see here. Last thing on the agenda for today is going to give away some free Litecoin, just like always. So this is good for 24 hours from the time that this video is uploaded to YouTube. So what does that mean? Let's so how do you do it? I'll put a link to another YouTube video in the YouTube description of this video. So you got to go watch this video on YouTube, and then underneath it in the description there will be a link to another video that shows you exactly how you can claim your free $10 in Litecoin, what the rules are, how to do it, how to send me your wallet ID, all of that stuff. When you do that, use the code word collapse. Use the code word collapse. That is the code word for this video for today. So with that being said, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you. There is no show until next Tuesday at this time. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. And that is it for today's show. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.